Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and surprising origins of some of the most iconic board games of all time. You might think you know where games like Monopoly or chess come from, but the real stories behind these classics are often filled with twists, unexpected facts, and even a bit of controversy. So, whether you're a seasoned board game enthusiast or just someone who enjoys the occasional game night, this video is for you. Let's get started. First up, let's talk about chess, arguably one of the oldest and most famous board games in the world. But did you know that chess as we know it today didn't originate in Europe? It actually has its roots in India, dating back over 1,500 years. The game was originally called Chaturanga, which means 4 divisions of the military, infantry, cavalry, elephants, and chariots, which later evolved into the modern pieces we know today: pawns, knights, bishops, and rooks. From India, the game spread to Persia, where it became known as Shatranj, and then it traveled to Europe, evolving into the chess we recognize today. One of the coolest things about chess is how it stayed relevant for centuries, becoming a symbol of strategy, intellect, and power. Next, we have Monopoly, everyone's favorite game to love and hate. But did you know that Monopoly wasn't originally created to make us all capitalists? In fact, it was originally designed as a protest against monopolies. Yep, in 1903, a woman named Lizzie Magie created a game called the Landlord's Game. Her goal was to show how landlords could exploit tenants and create monopolies, hurting the economy and everyday people. But when Charles Darrow, an unemployed salesman during the Great Depression, got his hands on the idea, he turned it into the monopoly we know today, patenting it in 1935. What's wild is that Lizzie Magie's original intention of showing the dangers of monopolies was completely flipped, and now Monopoly is about, well, becoming the biggest monopoly. Now let's talk about Scrabble. This game was born out of desperation during the Great Depression. In 1938, a man named Alfred Butts, who was an out-of-work architect, wanted to create a game that combined luck, skill, and knowledge. He took inspiration from crossword puzzles and created a word game originally called Lexico. But publishers didn't want it. It wasn't until a few years later, when a man named James Bruno helped Butts revamp the game and rename it Scrabble, that it finally took off. And get this, it didn't become a big hit until the 1950s when it was played by the staff at Macy's department store. From there, the game exploded in popularity. Now, Scrabble is sold in over 120 countries and in over 30 languages. Talk about a turnaround. Next up is Clue, or as it's known outside of North America, Cluedo. This murder mystery game was actually created during a very dark time in history, World War II. Anthony Pratt, a British musician, invented the game in 1943 while he was stuck indoors during air raids in England. He wanted to capture the thrill of solving a murder mystery, so he came up with a game where players would use deduction to figure out who done it. After the war, Pratt sold the game to Waddingtons in the UK and Parker Brothers in the US. Clue has since become an iconic game night staple, spawning movies, books, and even spin-off versions with different themes and settings. Not bad for something born out of boredom during wartime. Finally, we have the Game of Life, another beloved classic, but with a history that might surprise you. The original version, created by Milton Bradley in 1860, was actually called the Checkered Game of Life, and it wasn't about fun or family at all. It was about teaching morality. Bradley designed the game to teach players how to live a righteous life. Spaces on the board included things like success or failure, and it was all about making moral decisions. The version we know today was revamped in the 1960s to focus more on achieving success through career and family, but the original game was meant to guide people through life's moral choices. So, there you have it, the mysterious and sometimes surprising origins of some of the world's most iconic board games. From protests against monopolies to moral lessons about life, these games have evolved over the years, but their fascinating origins continue to shape how we play them today. Which board game fact surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more fun facts, and share it with your fellow board game lovers. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.